Good morning. My name is Zeph Capo, and I'm the president of the Texas American Federation of Teachers. And we're here this morning in front of Burris Elementary School in Houston Independent School District, an A-rated school that is set to be closed, one of hundreds across the state that is being closed because of financial issues, not academic issues. And we're here today with a parent, Amy Erickson. Amy, good morning. Thank you for being with us today. So we're here with the art car. How many people participated in this project?
This year in the art car, I would say at least 100 people have contributed pieces. I think some did a square or two, some made pom poms, from kids all the way to elderly folks. I know my grandmother has some pieces that are in here. Probably made when she was in her late 80s. Um, Obviously, there's a few more people who did a lot more than others, but I think that's really the message of it is, like we go from like a single fiber to a square, and then a square to a panel, and then suddenly this whole thing is wrapped. And I think that resonates a message of community as well, that we're all connected together.
Hundreds of people, or 100 or more people, participated in this. And while you all were working on this, what did it mean? What motivated you all to spend so much? What obviously was a lot of work putting into this project. What motivated you all to do this?
In HISD, since the takeover, it's been really tough. We've seen all these sweeping changes that have come to schools, even high performing schools. Um, we get 1 minute, 60 seconds to speak at a board meeting, and they're ignoring you, or they're smirking, or they're laughing, or they're not paying attention. So I think it's important for community to gather together and share their experience and share their message. And just in the time that we spent sitting together and stitching, we got to share our experiences of what's happening in our neighborhood schools, what's happening to our communities, how our teachers and students are feeling the impacts of this takeover. And really motivating is this bright, joyful message, right? It's a quiet, kind of grainy hobby, but you can use art to carry a message and spread the word. And this is our message. We're standing with our public schools. The administration has really tried to divide and rule us. They say, your message is an anecdote or a narrative. These things aren't true. It's just a few people who are experiencing this. But as you talk to people and meet people, that's not the case. It's everyone, and it's widespread harm that's been caused by this takeover.
Now, Amy, I hear that the message on the back of the art car actually was inspired, or your inspiration. So can you talk about it? What inspired you to bring this message forward? What does it mean to you, and what do you hope it communicates to others?
When HISD announced these schools were closing, parents had very little time to kind of process it and decide what to do. Port Houston Elementary actually organized a walk to show what it looks like to go from their current school and walk over to their what would be their new school. Elected officials showed up, parents showed up, community members showed up, and it was a long, long walk that parents or people are going to be doing twice a day, and adding that much time to their daily routine is not equitable. We walked with them. They were super organized. They had a strong message. We went to the board meeting where the schools were voted to be closed, and of course, all of the board of managers voted to approve this. And the Port Houston mothers were crying in the lobby. They were devastated, shook. Like, what does this mean for my future? And I think that the community at large was just feeling gutted, right? Like helpless and hopeless. And the next morning, we were all feeling heavy and down, and we're like, what can we do? What makes sense? So we had the idea to do a tribute to the 12 schools that are closing on the art car, right? The other panels were already kind of in progress, but we had this space and we wanted to dedicate it to the schools because all the students, generations of kids and families who've gone to these programs, they need to be remembered. They can't just be erased overnight with a single board vote.
Thank you for sharing that. So, as a parent in HISD, what would you like your fellow Texans, your fellow parents across the state to know about this process, to understand about what's happening here in Houston?
I would want parents to know that the community should be invited into what's happening in our schools. In this takeover, we've seen the administration shut the community out, but we have the power to build that ourselves, right? Like, I think of the fibers, like strand by strand, string by string, fiber by fiber, we're stitching together. We're showing that joining things with knots and connections, we can be stronger, and we still have a say and we won't be quiet because this is about our children and our future. And I think all the kids of Texas deserve a free and fair education that's not harmed by takeovers and policy changes or policy structures that hurt our kids.
So, Amy, relationships are important. That's actually what makes real schools function well. And relationships between parents and educators and students are at the heart of what happens in our schools. Can you talk about, how this process impacted relationships between the people that were part of this project?
So I've gotten to meet teachers, other parents, students, administrators, all of the above through this process. It's a community that should be connected, and I know that the union tries to bridge those connections between teachers and community. This is another way that we wanted to get together and share our experiences, hear what's happening at individual schools, hear what's happening on every level, and figure out how we can spread a message and make change better of the future for our kids.
Amy, this is awesome. Thank you very much for your activism. Thank you for being engaged in our schools and obviously in your own children's education. And thank you for sharing the message with other parents across the state of Texas about what's happening here, what could be happening to them, and how we fix it, how we change and make it better for everyone. So again, I'm Zeph Capo, and we're here in Houston Independent School District in front of Burris Elementary School, an A-rated school that is due to be closed by a board of managers that's unelected, appointed by our commissioner, without proper input from the community. This is happening across the state, not to schools that are failing, but to schools that are actually rated A+ by our own state accountability system. Something is wrong with what's happening. Schools and communities are supposed to be places where parents and educators can work together for the best interest of their students. And what's best for a student here in Houston may not necessarily be the exact same as what it would be in Abilene or in McAllen. And that is exactly why local control is important. That is why parents, educators, and others should have a voice at the table. That is why local elected officials are important. Mistakes are made all the way around, but travesties are made when people's voice are taken away from them. It's time to change who holds the power in Texas. It's time to change who is making the decisions. Give it back to the community. Give it back to parents. Give it back to the Amy's. Give it back to the educators. And stop the control from Austin. Vote Abbott out. That is the only way that you're going to do it. That is the only way that you're going to change who gets appointed as Commissioner of Education. That is the only way that you're going to get to change who gets appointed to these boards during takeover. And frankly, that's the only way that you're going to be able to get a local voice back, local control back over what happens to your kids, your schools, and your community every day. Thank you.